Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 93 of the Toonami Escape podcast. I'm Greg Zeno. Tonight we have B-Dubs,
Hello.
Seacoler,
Hey guys.
and Crocodile.
Good evening.
And tonight we're going to talk about how bad this One Piece live-action adaptation is going to be.
Oh, did some news for it come out recently, or a new trailer or something?
Well, I'm looking at this trailer. No, I honestly, I doubt it ever gets a trailer, ever.
Do you think it never gets made, basically?
It's like, that's like when people talk about the Metal Gear Solid movie. It's definitely happening. Anyway, here's this thing. It's a comic book. One Piece's live-action TV show will cost a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. According to Anime News Network and Anime Herald, One Piece's live-action TV show will cost up to 9 to 10 million per episode, which is Game of Thrones numbers. And it's like, no.
Was this something that was supposed to be on American Netflix or something? Or
I mean, I think it probably, if anything, it probably has to be. It either has to be like Netflix or premium cable. So
yeah, that seems like not likely to be worth investment, especially since I assume this is supposed to be English live action series, right? Not a Japanese one.
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't think America has the audience to support that sort of production in terms of cost effectiveness or cost benefit.
It says One Piece's Hollywood live-action TV show was announced last month. Oh, geez, this article is from 2017. What the fuck? Never mind.
Okay, that was a waste
Why is
of
this
time.
getting posted now?
I will say though that I think I agree with you, Crocodile. I do think that that's the point of this show, is that they're trying to broaden the audience to America by trying to do a live action adaptation. But I think I've said on the show in the past that I just don't think this show in particular will work as live action.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Especially
I think that you got to spend like tons of money on it if they want it to work, though.
when you factor in devil fruits and stuff like that, it just seems like even you just stick with like East Blue arc or whatever is the least grandiose parts of One Piece. It seems
The plan is for the first season to be East Blue, which makes sense.
right.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm just saying even that's crazy enough for it's like, is it worth the money?
I mean, you're literally dealing with a main character who is stretching all of the goddamn time.
Yeah.
And he's stretching like fast.
Mm-hmm.
And furious.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone here see the Full Metal Alchemist live action movie that recently came out? I heard it was pretty not good, but I was curious if anyone here had seen it.
No,
I also heard it was
this
terrible.
weekend. I haven't had time for movies, so I haven't seen it, but I heard it was garbage.
I mean, it seems like there's a big Japanese market for terrible anime live-action adaptations. And now we're getting that too, because movie executives realized we've run out of old American stuff to remake. Oh my god, there's this whole thing called anime.
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I had heard only mixed things about the FMA live action. Like some people were like, it's okay. But I haven't seen it either.
So from live action, should we go to the realm of the animated, starting to block in proper?
Yeah, sure, let's go. Let's talk about Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super episode 52, Master and Pupil reunited, Gohan and quote-unquote future Trunks. In this episode, is Trunks being pushed out by himself?
Somebody in the thread said that it's the infamous self-cock block.
This is pretty ridiculous. And that's all.
Well, I guess
No, that's not.
I guess I have some things to say about the episode. I just was curious if anyone wanted to go first or not, or are people just so unenthralled by this episode that they're kind of at a lack of words, so to speak.
No, B-Dubs dropped out for a second, or he's muted. So anyway,
well, I guess the moral of the story, I think, is they kind of hammer it home at the end in case you somehow miss it. But I guess the moral of the story is that even though Gohan is a giant dweeb and nerd and um yeah, dweeb nerd, he kind of won. Just because when you look at it kind of by any normal metric, it's where he's got a loving wife, beautiful, healthy child, good relationship with his in-laws, job he likes that pays well, owns his own house, no indication he has any debts of any sort. I mean, that's kind of like quote unquote winning by most normal metrics for like any person anywhere in the world. So, and he kind of stresses it with Trunks with his little wow, when you think about it, basically it gives you the moral way, like as people who are fans of Dragon Ball because they like to see people punch other people, and some comedy hijinks. Those also help as well. Like kind of seeing what Gohan has become. I know it's kind of like, at least on the kind of when you think of it first, seems a little disappointing. But like I guess the point of trying to stress is that he won, so it's like yay, hooray for Gohan, he's winning, or don't feel bad for him, even though you still kind of do feel a little bad for him because it's the type of show that it is. In a shonen, when someone's not punching people, it's just like, what are they doing? I think the only real or the biggest strike against the episode to me was the fact that it stresses or strains suspension of disbelief to believe that Gohan would not ask or ponder why future Trunks is here, because he would know future Trunks, like, people don't come, time travel just to say hi. Like, if he's here, it should suggest to him that something's going on. And the fact that no one asks it, I think, strains suspension of disbelief a little bit.
Well, maybe he did come back to say hi, honestly.
I do think
the thing is that basically Gohan has peace, and that's all Trunks wishes he could have. Fun times out there.
Yeah, somebody's being called the police on for for something.
Sometimes it happens near here, so my apologies.
Right.
Well, I mean, now I can control what the hell's going on my window, but
yeah. So anyway,
Trunks was like, "Oh man, he finally became a scholar, huh? It's all I ever wanted." And Piccolo was like, "What? You're not disappointed?" And he's like, "No." And then he goes to meet Gohan, and Gohan's like, "Gee, golly willikers, it's Trunks!" And he's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. I'll admit that.
Though and then he turned into the Great Saiyan Man and chased Pan around.
Oh yeah, the Great Saiyan Man was new to he'd never seen that before. Trunks, you're right. That's kind of, I'm sure, a bit of a system shock.
I mean, really, the point of the episode, I think that Grex was trying to say before the police showed up, was that, like I think the whole point of the episode is also showing the idea that like how much future Trunks realizes how crappy his timeline is. Like if only they hadn't, gone down the path that happened in his timeline, everything would be this like really wonderful world that he never got because all his friends died and all this stuff. It does make me kind of wonder though, like you said, like, why doesn't Gohan ask him why he's there? I mean, if I was Gohan, I would just assume that anytime, future Trunks came back, like it was, I mean, if I was future Trunks, I would go back in time and just stay there, like, or, like, what is in that future that's worth saving? That's my question.
I mean, technically, there's still some people, like Mai.
Well, he doesn't know Mai's still alive, but, like, it's his home. Like, you defend your home. I feel like just piecing out is just the punk, like what a punk does. Like it's not.
I guess I would have asked Bulma to build as many time machines as possible, and then like just everyone just book it out of there. But I do get what you're saying. It's like, yeah, it's the right thing to do is to try to save that future. But it just seems like it's just a broken record with him. It's like his future keeps going to crap.
Well, we went to crap twice, I guess, which is still 2 times too many, but
yeah. But anyway, so now he's kind of like, he was in the episode. He's like, why am I laughing? Why am I liking this? Like, I'm supposed to be here because of, the future is going to, my timeline is going to crap. And I shouldn't be sitting around here, babysitting. And that's his whole dilemma, his moral dilemma. And as a viewer, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking like, yeah, I mean, it actually seems pretty good that you're here. I don't mean it sucks you have to go back to your crappy timeline.
Well, it's always nice to kind of put things in perspective, and I think as you allude to, kind of, well, I guess he doesn't know Maya's alive yet, but it does, I guess, maybe instill in him a sense of what he can fight for in the future. Like, I mean, I assume there are, again, he doesn't know Maya's alive, but you could think of it like there's still other people still there. There's still a possibility of kind of having some sort of future. And I think also what potentially, I doubt the writers are actually thinking this when they were kind of putting pen to paper, but like after Trunks came back from the Cell Arc, beat the androids his time and whatnot, the future was recovering. So it's not like if he could defeat Black, he could. There isn't. It's clear the future had recovered from a calamity such as androids. So if you could get over Black, there's a chance to recover again. I feel so that could give him more of a sense of hope. Like things got bad, then it got better, and they're bad again. But considering how bad they were before, it's obvious things could get better again if they could just get over "quote unquote" the Black issue.
Yeah.
Hey, B-Dubs, you're back.
Hey, sorry.
He ate super that much, he just doesn't want to talk about it.
What else was in this episode? Vegeta's training angry again, and Goku was off to fight some yellow dude.
Yep.
Green dude.
Much.
Green dude. Yeah, there's a yellow dude there, but he's going to fight the green dude.
Right.
And then there was a Dragon Ball FighterZ review, and it spoiled everything. So we won't talk about it.
Of course it did.
They don't care.
There's not really much of anything in this arc to really spoil. I feel that's would really affect anyone's enjoyment of the arc. Like,
spoiler alert: Goku Black has a transformation.
Oh wow, a transformation! Who could have seen that coming? Bad guy, even putting that aside, a bag of transformations coming.
Like literally every single Dragon Ball villain of all time.
They've all had a transformation, or 12.
This is the show that spawned the saying, "This is not even my final form."
Quite literally.
And literally, that was said with complete seriousness.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys want to talk about Kai?
Sure.
All right.
All right.
That's Dragon Ball Z Kai. The final chapter is episode 151. The Elder Kai's Brainstorm, Return to Life Goku, which is a classic Dragon Ball title. Just classic. Just like, come back to life.
I don't think it's a classic toy title in terms of like, here's everything's going to happen in the episode.
But it is pretty Dragon Ball with how flippant it is about dude's not dead anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's like halfway. Like it could go full toy if it was like Elder Kai dies to save Goku.
Elder Kai dies, bringing Goku back to life to go fight Majin Buu on Earth.
In this episode, I literally can't remember anything from when Super Boring Buu was on screen because holy shit, he's so fucking boring.
He's the worst.
I mean, I think the episode exhibits something you see very common in Dragon Ball, where like a character is more powerful or has become more powerful than another character, but there's no real difference in terms of like how the fight's playing out, except that one guy's winning and the other guy's now losing. It's just like, it's just the same kind of punches and beams and instant not instant transmissions, but like flash steps, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And you got a little humor with Mr. Satan thinking he's doing things, but he's not actually doing anything.
Mr. Satan's like, guess what, motherfucker? I brought out my 45.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what, motherfucker? Second Amendment, bitch. Yeah.
One thing that struck out to me, actually, was that Majin Buu absorbed Piccolo, so you should know all Piccolo's, moves and, everything of that sort. And he even goes on to say, I have Piccolo's intellect, hitting his temple, and so I can see through all your moves and whatnot. And yet he had no idea who Dende was or what Dende could do, which if he knew everything Piccolo knew, you should know that. So that just seemed
It really doesn't seem like he gets the memories. It seems like he just gets the intelligence and the power.
Yeah.
It seems random.
I think that's how, like, I think he's supposed to get a little bit of the personality, but that's about it.
But he does go after Dende and then Tien, who I thought either was dead or was eaten already. I literally did not remember that Tien was not on the lookout. Shows up.
That's a good point. He wasn't on the lookout, right? Or he was?
No, they showed Tien dodging the blast from who killed
that's
everyone.
Right.
They did. Oh well, man, that's pretty good.
It's just Tien has been reduced completely to, the old Z fighters who now only stand around and watch people fight, and then Chaozu doesn't even exist anymore. Like, has he even shown? I can't even remember the last time he's shown up in this show or Super. Did he even show up in Super? He must have been he must have been there at Bulma's birthday party.
But he showed up. He was in that same scene where Tien was dodging the death rays. So he was there, floating and being Chaotsui, for whatever that's worth.
I mean, we laugh about Yamcha, but geez, Yamcha still manages to be sometimes in the show.
What is Tien anyway?
He is a human who has reached enlightenment.
And that's why he's got a third eye?
That's correct.
Okay.
But enlightenment's not really worth much in the Dragon Ball universe.
Enlightenment on how badly he's outclassed and can't do anything.
I always thought he was just an alien Triclops.
Nope. I mean, he's from back when Dragon Ball was still a, fable.
Yeah.
So did you guys like the Elder Kai's backstory?
Oh, the random witch who just is there for no reason on the planet of the Kais or whatever, and then...
How did she even get there?
I mean, I assume she's like of the same type of witch as that one witch who like brings Goku back to life, and also was having an argument with Yema this episode.
Oh, Roshi's sister, what's her name, like Baba or something, or
something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elder Kai's backstory is that he's not even old. He literally was young and handsome until like a witch fused with him because earrings. Also, fusion earrings now.
Yep.
Right, this episode really exemplifies how much Toriyama was riding off by the seat of his pants, just making shit up every week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's literally Elder Kai's like, "Deh, Goku's alive, and I'm dead," and then it's like, "Take these earrings."
It's not like it matters.
It's interesting though because like, it's only interesting in the sense that like, they go through the trouble of explaining that you could use the earrings, but then you're fused forever. But as anyone knows, obviously they're not fused forever. So it actually kind of does, in a weird way, create suspense because I'm just wondering now how they're going to get out of that.
I do not believe those earrings ever get used.
Oh, really?
No, they do.
Yes, they do. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, well.
Yeah, like...
that would be dumb to introduce them and not use them.
Did you? I guess, yeah. You've seen the rest of Dragon Ball, right? Or Dragon Ball Z?
No, I have not seen it after this. I mean,
I mean, they're not used in the way they intend to use them, but they still use them.
Look, I know that Goku.
Okay, yeah, I guess. I mean, the show's like 30 years old. I don't think we need to step around spoilers for Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, some people it's still their first time. It's always somebody's first time.
I mean, there's no reason to go into details. I'm just saying, the only point I was trying to make is the fact that it's interesting. Like there's a lot of stuff that I can know about like Dragon Ball only because I'm watching Super, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I know where things go, right? And the Elder Kai handed them those things, saying like this big deal about the fact that you can use these, but you'll be fused forever. And I'm like, that's not true, because if they use them, I'm pretty sure that it's not forever because they're not still fused.
But is it any different from countless anime where it's like, don't use this forbidden technique or you'll kill yourself with it, and then like they never actually die?
Yeah. I'm sure it is. But I just want to see the ass pull. I'm actually anticipating it now, so I'm interested.
It's pretty weak ass pull, but I mean,
it's really like lazy.
Yeah.
Oh, they broke.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So also Vegeta's coming back because of course.
Thing bring up. I mean, again, this is obvious, like just writing, making shit up kind of thing. But
yeah,
I mean,
he don't want Gohan to win, so he's got to bring back,
Yeah, it's the whole idea that like it's like Toriyama cannot be written into a corner. It just can't happen. He will just come up with a way that Vegeta can come back to life, and
He will
I think
literally phase through the corner and out the other side.
yeah, he's just, or we'll scream our way out of a dimension, just stuff like that. It's like there's no rule that cannot be broken with Toriyama, apparently.
Like, he doesn't give enough of a shit.
Yeah. And I think the excuse was something like, oh, I kept a backup of his soul just in case, or something like that.
Oh, that is the dumbest shit.
Whose soul again?
Vegeta.
Well, they didn't keep a backup of his soul, but they basically just said, hey, we kind of knew this was going to happen, so...
We just didn't destroy you yet.
Yeah, or something like that. It was just something like, he was like, well, I thought maybe I'll just make it so that you can't die permanently, just in case,
Anyway, I know the answer already, but let's talk about Black Clover.
I mean, we cannot.
Black Clover, episode 11. What happened one day in the castle town? Turns out the answer is nothing.
I'm shocked.
In this
Shocked, I
episode,
tell
they
you.
get money and they go shopping and nothing happens.
Oh, do you mean that time they went to Diagon Alley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Straight up.
to be fair, a lot of shows have kind of like, I'm not sure if it's fair to say that it's a straight copy of Harry Potter. I don't think like that aspect of it is like, unique to Harry Potter or whatnot.
No, it's not. But
Well,
still.
okay.
they're
I
fun
agree.
similar tropes. I feel more so than ripping off Harry Potter or anything like that.
I would agree with you if it weren't for the fact that they A, stepped through a brick wall into a hidden alley that sold magical items, and B, earlier in the episode they gave away points like Gryffindor gets
I
points.
forgot,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Oh yeah, the gold star. I forgot about that. Yeah, that episode,
60 points to Gryffindor.
They're straight up copying Harry Potter. I mean, there's just no getting around it.
Gryffindor
However
is now at
works.
negative 7,000 points.
which brings up the question: how do you get negative stars?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. It's
Commit
like, how do
crime
you
or
get?
something, just like murder someone by accident.
Literally every time Sister Lover says anything, they
Oh,
get
yeah.
a negative star.
Why is that a character? That's just—he's not funny. He's
Because
just,
They hate us.
gross.
Because anime, this stuff goes through phases, and currently every anime has to have this character.
I don't think I've seen one of these characters before. Me
Well,
personally.
it's just now shoving its way into Toonami.
That's because you watch good anime. I assume, like, so you have
I
taste, you avoid the crap. That's why I assume.
Because like this is like people in the thread kept throwing out that term siscon, and I'd never heard that
Yeah.
before. and
No,
that's what
that-
he is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Like it
I-
evolved from kind of evolved from, well, I'm adopted, so it's, I mean, like it goes, remember Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like,
But
I'm
usually-
adopted, so it's not really, but it is.
Well,
It
usually
is.
when you do faux incest, they're like the same age.
And now they've
Yeah.
just stopped. Now they've just stopped either A, having it be, and not being just straight up, and then B, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
mean,
even.
There was
I don't-
also that weird show where it's like the guy's like, "Oh, my sister is way too cute," and everyone is like, "Are you fucking serious with this?"
Or Amo.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I was thinking this character was going to be just like, I don't know, like super proud of his little sister, and just like he just loves her, like in a like a brother would love a sister. But then they show him with a nosebleed all the time, and I'm
Literally
like,
every
"Ooh."
single time.
Yeah, and so. Like, I don't even want to talk about this character, but I just don't get why that guy exists. It's just weird.
I told you he exists to fill a spot that's now kind of requisite for some reason.
Mm.
And we all say it and we all know. Anyway, nothing
yeah.
happens in this episode. The end of this episode is literally, my purse.
That was the weirdest place to end an episode I've seen in a while. I heard
It's
it was
almost like this episode adapts half of a chapter.
Why are they doing that shitty pacing already?
Perot.
We talked about it last week.
We
It's a
did,
great
but
I can't believe Pro is the same. I mean, granted, it's not the studio that matters, but it's the staff. But it's hard to think that Pro is the same studio that made Yu Yu Hakusho.
It all comes down to Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. They did all that filler. People kept watching, and so they're like, "Oh, we can do whatever the fuck we want."
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Naruto's Naruto, but you do that when you're trying to not run into the manga, not at the start. The start is when you do the
Yeah.
good pacing.
Well, then
Yeah.
they stretched out the end literally 2 years after the manga ended, just doing straight up filler because they just wanted to keep raking in the dough.
Yeah.
They are addicted to it.
They just wanted to keep going until, you know, Boruto started or whatever.
I've heard Boruto's actually was pretty decent from what I've heard. Like legitimately decent.
I've seen a
I haven't
couple of
bothered.
episodes. Like I didn't even watch it, but I watched a random episode once or twice. I think it was all right. Like I mean, I haven't seen any of the newer stuff. I was just watching episodes from the first season. I don't even know if it has seasons, but like from the beginning.
I think it's probably like just ongoing. Never
Ongoing.
stops.
Well, early
Yeah.
stuff, like maybe episode 10 or something like that.
Maybe
And I
it's put
watched
on
it.
Stores or like arcs or whatever you hell you want to say, but yeah, we
But
like early stuff. Yeah,
it was all right. I thought it was, you know, decently animated, and the characters. It just reminded me of the original series, honestly.
with the better parts of it, right?
Yeah,
It's
Well, I
probably
guess just-
exactly what you said. It's probably all right.
yeah. I think it's probably all right. Yeah, I mean, certainly a million times more watchable than Shippuden. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's all relative. So relative to Black Clover and current Shippuden, all right is an upgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking
yeah.
of upgrades,
Oh, are we moving on?
well, that was a great segue, but I guess not.
No.
It's ruined now, but okay.
No.
This is
I
ruined.
was about to say I can't think of anything else to talk about on Black Clover. So
I mean, what's her
Great.
name? The sexy witch got a decent costume, I guess.
Oh, she put on some clothes,
Mhm.
yes,
and the food girl. I completely did not realize that was her because she was not chibi for 5
Yes.
seconds.
that
Right.
was weird. Like she apparently can be drawn unchibi, which is
I
like
think we call it normal.
I think so. But like it's just like they have never shown that character that way. And it was like, who's this?
Oh, I think something worth, I guess, pointing out in this episode is that, well, they already kind of got tired, but the little like quirks these characters have are now super tired. They don't have like personalities. They're just like, let's repeat this person's quirk over and over and over.
Right.
I mean, they're not characters; they're bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're
They're
not
a
funny.
one-note gag that is a person. Also, I liked that one. I really liked that, like, quote unquote, liked that one shot where that one dude is like, "I'm in the green praying mantises. They suck." And there's a green praying mantis on the wall, and it's like somebody was like, "I just found out about this thing. It's amazing. It's called symbolism."
God.
That's hardly symbolism. That's just a coincidence. There's just the bug he happened to be talking about is on the wall.
Why is that there?
Yeah.
Yeah, was
It's
that
like-
was that alluding to something like?
No, it's just like somebody who thought that was creative to have that happen.
Somebody was like, so he's talking about how much the green praying mantises are beneath him, and in the foreground there's a praying mantis on the wall, and then the entire boardroom just is like,
Get a raise. Give him a raise. Yeah.
give this
Anyway.
man $1 billion.
Yeah, I'm glad
Oh,
you brought up like the that one character looking weird because I was going to mention that. That was odd. Okay, but outside of that, I don't have anything else to say.
Want to talk about JoJo?
Okay.
I always want to talk about JoJo.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, Battle in Egypt, Episode 26, Iggy the Fool and Gebs in Duel Part 2. This may actually be like the longest title and episode title combination of all time on this block.
I'm curious.
It
Is that the
probably
actual
is.
name of the episode? Shouldn't it be Nadul's Geb, not Geb's Nadul?
No, for whatever reason, it's like stand name user.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's kind of weird because now JoJo has like two
I think it's
different
because
subtitles.
it rhymes with fool.
Yeah.
I guess, but they kind of still a bit of a fuck up, I think. But
In this
Anyway,
episode, Iggy! He's an annoying little pissant.
Yep.
Jotaro throws him. That's cool.
He does.
it was a good fight. It's really all there is to say about it. It's just a very good fight. I mean, kind of Avdol does nothing as normal, but it was a good fight. It was a great fight. It was just a fucking good fight. Like I was more than I mean, I've already seen this obviously, but I was satisfied when I saw it for the first time, and I was satisfied yet again that this past Sunday morning. So,
Well, I like the character Mdul or whatever his name is. I mean, he's definitely. I like a more intelligent enemy, like a somebody who can be strategic and stuff. And yeah, so he was really entertaining to watch him do his thing, and his whole gimmick of having to. He's basically like that one character from Avatar: The Last Airbender, basically.
Well, the blind swordsman is a pretty prominent trope in Eastern media. Like, remember that character from Rurouni Kenshin? Have you seen Rurouni Kenshin?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, all over the place. The blind quote unquote swordsman. Not
but like using,
well, I mean,
specifically the using the vibrations and the sound of the world to like see the world. That aspect, I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's really hard to go wrong with that, sort of Zatoichi character.
I really like the standoff where he's like, "Oh shit, he's right behind me."
There's actually a character like this in Samurai Champloo. That woman assassin was also one of the blind swordsman type characters.
Yeah, there's actually one in One Piece where Oda just literally drew like the actor that played
Zatoichi.
Yeah, like literally.
Was that in stuff that already aired on Toonami or future stuff?
No, that would have been future stuff where they introduced. Yeah, I mean, I won't talk about it too much but yeah,
it's literally just him.
So Mdul unfortunately dies or kills himself, and before he can give any information about these other stand users we've learned are all based on like cards.
The gods of Egypt.
The gods of Egypt, yeah. But my favorite
We're only
part
halfway through the show, but we ran out of tarot cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
But my favorite part of that though is the fact that that Jotaro is asking him, like, why are you doing this? Why are you so loyal to Dio? And his answer is, he's damn sexy. And there's like this shot of like Dio just like walking, and he's like charisma times 1,000, I guess.
Well, I mean, Abdul gave the same answer at the beginning of the show when he said he met Dio, and he's like, "Oh my God, Dio!" I almost like, so.
I cried. He was so beautiful.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Dio's charisma with Jonathan's body. How could you not be like taken in?
Exactly. It's just funny that's like, I think it's awesome and funny that's Dio's thing. He's just like, he charms people to submission, basically.
One thing that was mentioned in this episode, and I feel like it was mentioned before or something, but like it has never happened, and it doesn't happen. It's just basically a point that, oh no, I have to kill myself before Joseph reads my mind, but like that never happens or had happened. So it seems something weird that was written, I assume, in the manga, and it seems weird that was kept in the anime adaptation. That just never made sense to me.
It never happens. It's just a thing that happens so people can blow their brains out instead of talk.
Right, but at least it would have been nice if it was been a thing that had happened or does happen to kind of justify it, or else just why not just say, I don't want to talk, so because
wait,
amazing, so fuck off.
But didn't he read that one dude's mind when they went like miniaturized inside their brain?
That was his own brain.
He displayed his own body.
Oh,
He his own body on the television screen.
I don't know. Maybe Dio's telling him, "Hey, he brainwashed Kakyoin and Polnareff. Watch out."
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. He just got. That's not how it happened.
Well, they don't know that.
They know a lot of things that seems a little odd. They would know, but whatever. It's a weird thing that was in there that I assume was from the manga that it shouldn't have been kept, but they did keep it. So it's just weird. But whatever.
Oh, you're gonna have fun with Iggy's new character design next week.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that was another thing where it's like they knew how Iggy's character design was going to go, I don't know why they didn't just start that way instead of doing what the manga did.
Because Iggy's character also does basically change. Like in the Geb fight, he's a chewing gum gremlin, and then he doesn't do anything until later, where he kind of has to be like cute.
They just started with him being cute, quote unquote cute. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, but then he couldn't.
Then it's not. But then it's not
chewing gum
canon.
gremlin.
Yeah, and it's not faithful to the source material.
But
it's going to be funny in part 6 when Anasui shows up as a woman the first time, and then later he's just straight up a man.
Oh God!
And they don't even bother to change it; they just keep it like that.
But sometimes it's good to not be entirely faithful to the source material. Like they already have made some adjustments to the source material for the better in this adaptation, so it seems weird that they didn't do it in other places as well.
It's kind of the same thing as Bethesda being like, well, we found this bug, but we're not going to fix it because it's not serious and it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's kind of different to me, but I will say that like I can understand them wanting to be faithful because maybe they think that's part of what makes it good. Like you're arguing from the point of thinking that this version of Iggy is terrible and they should have made him cool to begin with.
No. He should have still acted the way he did. It just his actual character design changes shortly. So like they should just use the character design they knew they were going to use for the most of the show instead of doing what the manga did, where it had one character design and then Araki just changed it.
It changed more gradually in the manga, but in the anime, it's literally almost like a joke where the second the Geb's episode is over, the next episode, his character design is completely different.
That is strange.
Anyway,
but still happens
in
the manga. So
anyway, there's an early end. The ending comes in early, and then we get these two new characters.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Not Oingo and not Boingo, even though we can clearly see it's on the comic book. You assholes.
Yeah, it's Oingo and Boingo.
I don't know how. Like, I guess it's like, hey, they can go to like the lawyers and be like, look, we can't change the animation, but we can change the names. Okay.
Yeah,
So
you can't understand this. It's weird science.
So the weird thing to me is that they go from one music reference to another music reference. So it's just that the first group said, hey, we're going to sue, and then the next group said, we don't care. Is that what happened?
I mean, the assumption is that they don't want to even come close to being sued. And basically, it's changing the names costs them nothing.
Right, but they change it to another music reference. So it's not
I
like
assume song titles cannot be
Right. So you can't do anything about song titles because like there's like 36 songs with the same title, so there's nothing to be done there. But the actual names, like maybe like I still think it would fall under fair use, but they probably don't want to risk a lawsuit. So
there are some bands that are famously dicks, and
yeah, they probably don't want to risk dealing with something like that, even though it's technically fair use.
It still costs money just to be sued.
Yeah.
And win, yeah.
They don't even have. It doesn't even win. Even just getting served costs you.
Yeah.
You're already down legal fees.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they'd almost certainly win any lawsuit that was brought against them, but at the same time, it's like it's not worth it.
They don't even have the. They probably don't have the. And also, they may not even have the money to fight to a win.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if it was something like the BBC, where they basically have rights to almost everything, they wouldn't even need to bother changing anything because they'd be like, yeah, no, we got the rights to that. Who gives a shit? Because they can basically just use whatever the hell songs and shit they want.
So basically, we learn about these new. It was weird, by the way, that the ending plays so abruptly, and then we cut back to this finishing scene, and then we get the to be continued at the very end, which I don't know why they did that. I think it would have been fine to just have
if it's to fuck you over if you basically stop watching an episode when the ending starts.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like people might have missed it.
Yeah, I always skip the endings, and sometimes I'm confused, and they got you.
Yeah, but so these kids show up, and there's some like really excited like guy who, is he like a photographer or something?
He's
I forget.
A comic book artist.
Artist. Yeah, he's reading the comic book. For anyone who missed the ending, I guess I'll say, reading the comic book, and it's one of those scenarios where whatever is happening in the comic book is like foretelling what's going to happen next. And he sees a man who gets impaled on a telephone pole, and it turns out that it's him.
Mm-hmm.
Still censored because I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that is weird. It seems they're kind of random when they are or are not uncensoring stuff.
It almost seems to me like they like sometimes they literally forget.
Yeah, I think it's more like an oversight than it is like a deliberate thing.
Because I remember in the Death 13 fight, one of the shot, like all of the shots of the dog were uncensored, and then there's one where with like a very conspicuous black circle, and it's like the dog's not even in the main part of the shot. Why is it censored? I guess because it's not there. You forgot.
You could also make the assumption or the speculation that like if let's say this, for example, what they're airing here is like the Blu-ray release that was available in Japan that was uncensored, right?
Yeah.
And if this is the same footage that's on that, then it's possible that some shots were animated uncensored and the censorship was added for television. And that there were some shots that were just straight up always censored.
We never drew an uncensored version of this.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And that could be the case here.
I guess it's possible, but it seems a little weak, I suppose. I mean, not like it really affects the enjoyment of the show at all, but it's still noticeable.
Like, because this was kind of a still shot, so maybe to save time and effort, they just was like, don't even bother.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that, yeah. I think that's more likely than somehow they're like getting the mix-ups, or something.
Yeah.
So now we have a comic book that predicts the future. This is going to be a weird one.
That's saying something.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to. I'm come on, I had to.
Moving on. Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron Blooded Orphans, episode 42, Settlement. In this episode, they get a legal settlement from Jasly, which is his life.
That was so satisfying.
Like, I really don't. I guess the point of the character was to try to separate Tekkagen from Teiwaz. So I guess I understand the narrative implications, but like he was just fuck that guy. He's just like, oh, I'm such a badass. Oh, look at me. I killed one of the best girls in the show. Oh, look at me. Oh, ho, ho. Just like, fuck you, fuckface. Yeah. What did you accomplish?
The show's better for him, though.
Eok's still around.
Just, I mean, thank God Jasly's gone, but just like, what a fuckface of a character, man.
Yeah, well, he's the kind of character you love to hate.
But it's like Jasly exists to be so bad they have no choice but to make an extremely bad long-term decision.
Yeah. I mean, it was still sort of like, how is Eok still alive though?
He fails upwards.
Yeah, it's that sort of question that I have like every time I watch him. Like, how is this guy not tripped all over himself and like accidentally like stabbed himself in the eyeball with a laser beam?
Eok's the guy who trips and falls up a flight of stairs.
Yeah. Like, how did he make it to adulthood is a question. Like, how didn't he just like?
Well, he's royalty. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Something I don't know.
In case you haven't noticed,
but
child marriage.
Like, how did he not fall out of a tree when he was a child?
Oh, you know what?
He did.
He might be inbred.
Gjallarhorn is a organization where power is passed hereditary, even if that means it goes to a complete dipshit.
Maybe that's why he's got those little red spots around his eyes.
I think that's just a family thing. They're like teardrops.
Yeah, I know. It's just
or maybe it's like mom tattooed them on. It's like, here, this way people won't kill you. They'll think you're just really sad about something.
But yeah. So Mika, good job. Blew that bastard up.
Orga was just like, he literally just pulls, like, in classic Gundam fashion. He just like, I only came here to laugh at you. Like that one picture. With definitely not Char and sunglasses from whatever Gundam.
I actually didn't recognize Jasly at the beginning because he wasn't wearing his freaking the man in the yellow term, or he wasn't wearing his like Dick Tracy coat.
Oh God.
Yeah, he just looks like another fucking scrub.
Yeah,
that with his bulk standard like spacesuit, and it's like, oh, I wanted him. I really kind of wanted him to be wearing the Dick Tracy suit.
Yeah,
when he was like sitting there on the The bridge?
Yeah. Like, hell, Naze wore his suit all the time. Orga's wearing a
It was
suit.
cool.
Jastly's like, what are you going to do? Go out in a mech? You didn't even have a mech.
Oh yeah, and then he was like, "Send out the human debris."
He always says that, though.
And then Tekken's just like, I don't care. They're all dead. And it's like, are we the bad guys too?
Yeah, that was an
No,
interesting scene.
We're the
with,
baddies.
with Atra and the other person that was standing next to her.
There was
And they were-
Chad and Hush and other dude.
Yeah, and they were like, wait a minute, there are other human debris just like you guys where you came from, and they're like, yeah, well, they're our enemy. We have to fight them. It's kill or be killed.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say that I think it was a really good episode, and like it wasn't just satisfying because of the payback aspect of it, but it was just like it was well paced, and I think it's the first time in all of the Gundam shows I've seen where there's been a mech battle in space, and I actually could follow it, and I cared about what was happening.
Oh, it was certainly a good episode. I just don't like Jastly. Because fuck that dude. But it was a good
You're
episode.
not supposed to like Jastly, let me tell you.
But still, like, I mean...
If
you
you hate Jastly with a passion, then the show did exactly what it set out to do.
Yeah, but he was
Did you
kinda
get
but he was like,
satisfaction
he felt
from
more
his
like a tool to, like, make you angry than
Yeah.
a good character, if that makes sense.
No, I totally understand. They laid it on way too thick with him.
Mm.
Like they did what they set out to do, but at the same time, it's very much okay. You're laying it on a little thick here, buddy. Calm down.
If I was to complain about it, it's that he was kind of like, he wasn't like some background character who's been around for a long time. He's just he
Right.
only kind of recently appeared and became a real bad guy.
Yeah, it's basically feels like, oh wait, we don't have any actual bad guys. We kind of need one right now. Let's.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But
Like
I
I
still
said.
enjoyed it. I mean, I still enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like it was satisfying to have this character, really make me mad, and then and see him fall far onto his face.
The reason
same time.
the reason he is so just
Unimaginable.
unambiguously terrible is because he needs to be, so that you kind of like, I want this dude to die, and then it's like, yeah, we killed him, and then we look back, oh man, we made a bad long-term decision to do that.
Yeah, we still needed him.
Yeah,
No,
but like
we
Jackson
still-
wasn't a character. He was just a let's stick the eye in the audience kind of thing. As like BW was kind of elaborating my point very well. It's just like he wasn't a character. He was just like a stick in the eye of the audience.
He's literally a taunt to Tekkadan to get them out from under Tewaz.
Well, I
Which
mean,
leaves them very vulnerable because now their only protection is McGillis.
true.
And he's
And
useless.
now McGillis is straight up just like, hey, it's time, let's go. We're fighting all of Gallarhorn.
I'm not going to go out of my way to defend Jastly too much as a character, outside to say that I've seen worse characters because, like,
Oh yeah.
he did have motivation. His motivation was to overthrow the old man. That was his whole goal. So he had he had his own plans. They just didn't work. He just ended up like being double crossed by Eok. So that's
Not
what
even
happened.
double crossed by Eok. Eok was like, hey, Russell, this is amazing, right? And Russell's
Yeah.
like, no, fucker. Sit your ass down and don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't have said double crossed by Eok. Eok gave out his plan to the old man, and the old man was like, I ain't let that happen.
Yeah.
So, but
just
the point
because
is the point is that Jastly wasn't just some guy who was just in the background being like, haha, I hate Tekkadan. He actually had a plan. He was executing it, and it was that made him a bad guy.
right, but
He's still not great. I mean, I agree. He's
No.
not the
I
greatest.
mean, at the same time, I feel like if he had been a character for longer, like if he had been a holdover from last season, I would be okay with how fast he went out. But it was very much like, oh, they introduced this unambiguously bad guy, and they laid it on really thick,
Mhm.
and then they just kill him off like 2 episodes later, and it's
I
like,
get the impression that this show was written like 2 halves at one half at a time.
right. But at the same time, I'm like, probably should have dragged his arc out a little more. You
Yeah,
know, like
his arc is still way better than the arc with what was it called from the first season?
Dort.
oh,
Dort.
oh, that shit was garbage.
Or the
Yeah.
human debris arc with that one Joker dude.
Or
Yeah.
that arc we had this season before the last one.
I mean, that was better than both of those because it
You mean
had,
Well,
you know. I'm talking. No, not the mobile armor. I'm talking about like
The one before it.
the one with the kids in the war that they
Yeah,
don't
the
even
one-
know. And it's
yeah,
like
the
turns
one where
out our
they
commanding
were getting
officer is a
played.
bad guy.
Oh,
Yeah, the one where they were so obviously getting played, but no one thought to be like, huh, I'd like to talk to the boss myself.
actually, now that you bring up the human debris arc, like, and I guess we made this point. I mean, this point was made in our previous episodes, but they need to stop shitting on Akihiro. Like, let the dude have a W, or I mean, more W's, or like just stop shitting on the dude.
Yeah, he's made to suffer, isn't he?
Yep.
I did like his mech though. I never noticed it before that he's got like a big clamp.
He
It's the
literally
clamps.
he is a dude who just squeezes people until they explode.
Yeah.
I mean, someone had to have that power.
Anyway, want to talk about Hunter x Hunter?
Damn right.
I heard
Hunter
this
x Hunter
is
episode
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Hunter x Hunter episode 85, Light and Darkness. In this episode, fuck.
Yeah, everything's horrible forever.
Fuck.
This was without a shadow of the doubt the best episode of this series I've seen.
really.
I think
I'm
so,
gonna-
100%.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect it to happen not even halfway through the episode. I expected it to sort of drag out and happen at the very end.
I think
Like-
there are two issues. Well, one was that everyone in the thread was like, "Oh, can't wait till that episode. Oh, is it that episode? Oh, wow, it's this episode. Oh, everybody get ready for that episode. Oh boy, I can't wait to read reactions for that episode." And it was just like,
yeah.
God.
People aren't good enough about, spoilers.
And then once the episode started, it was like, "Wow, isn't Kite a swell guy? Oh yeah, he's so great. Kite's the best. What do we do about Kite? Is there anyone
Sudden
better in the world
Kite
than Kite?"
flashbacks.
Yeah. I mean, they very much went, I mean, even the show went, yeah, we're going to give this guy a couple of flags. Just, he's going to hold on to those. He's fine.
I think someone jokingly called it a not a death flag, but a death parade, and I think it was a very apt description.
Yeah.
So yeah, Neferpitou is a fucking monster, and fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, that shot when she lands next to Kite and then turns and looks at Gon and Killua and she glares, and it's like the show just perfectly animated that moment where it's like you could just see it. You're just like, oh no, if they don't leave, they're dead. They're just dead right there.
Yeah.
And that was so cool. And then Gon, of course, can't control himself and he starts to go into rage mode, and then Killua knocks him out. And it's like all of this stuff is happening really fast, and I'm like, this is amazing. And you got Kite doing his badass pose.
And then he summons a Sailor Moon stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Who knows?
I'm guessing that
That
didn't work out.
battlefield was wrecked. That clearly was
Yeah.
not a short fight. It
No.
probably turned out that Sailor Moon stick was some fucking amazing shit.
Oh, you think
Yeah.
so? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's like Neferpitou definitely took some damage, though. Like, you could see it when she was holding Kite's head at the end of the episode. Like, she took a couple of good hits, it looks like. I mean, nothing, like, really that could kill her, but I think she took a hit or two.
Yeah, I mean, she is pretty strong. Pretty strong.
Something that's actually surprised me is that we never actually saw the fight. I thought we'd actually, even if it lasted like a minute or two, I assumed we'd actually see them fight, but we didn't. And we just saw the beginning and then the aftermath, and I was kind of surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, it surprised me too, but I think in hindsight, like, it just makes me think, oh my god, that must have been insane,
You think
Like-
you think because you don't see the fight, it's like, well, we will see. I mean, it's ambiguous on whether Kite managed to survive, and then it's like, here's his head. No.
Yeah, and it's setting up this great. You just know that at some point now, Gon is going to learn the truth.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
because
he's
Gon's
not-
just like, he's still alive. I know it.
Yeah.
And Killer was just like, I can't look at you. You're so blinding.
Yeah, like come on, bro. You know he's dead.
More on this later.
But like they showed like a picture of like it was like this funny moment where he's looking at Gon sitting on the bed, and it's like it's like a background painting of him, sort of. He's like a painted version of Gon grinning, and it's just like, you're just too pure for this world, Gon.
I can't do this.
So the Chimera ants are, as we can see, so fucking terrifying that they have to literally just, it's like, get the fucking chairman. Just get the fuck.
Yeah.
Literally, not even the chairman doesn't even come in as a last resort. He's just there from the start.
Yeah, that's how big a deal this is.
So
They just went.
Go ahead, Crocodile.
So I assume the other characters in the opening who are, I guess, part of the exterminate the Chimera Ant squad are like the assassins that Gon and Killer are going to meet or something in the upcoming.
Yeah.
Whatever
probably
battle they're about to have. Something I'll also note is that if you actually look at the opening for this arc, and you might have to go to YouTube to get a really good look at it, but you can actually see like they pretty much spoil the whole if you look back on it, the whole P2 kills Kite thing. If you look closely at what happens with Gon and in the imagery they're kind of displaying. So now that this has happened, it might be interesting for people to go watch the opening for this part of the show on YouTube.
I mean, yeah, the opening shows you all the Royal Guard and the King. So
yeah, but I think showing off Kite's death in the opening is more spoilery than just showing who the bad guys will be.
It's vague though. Like, I know the shot you're talking about. It shows like Gon, and then behind him you see Kite's smiling face, and then it swirls and turns into.
That's pretty classic, like anime. Like, ooh, is something bad gonna happen to X?
It doesn't straight up say that he died. It's just kind of like
it's
kind of
implying.
You're paying attention. You're like,
Yeah, there's something going to happen there. Yeah. My question though is this: the two guys that were with the old dude, have we seen them before?
Nope.
They're new.
Okay. I couldn't tell.
The only really top tier Nen users we've seen up to this point have basically been Kite and the chairman.
I mean, those are like. I mean, in terms of overall,
there's
super
a huge gap between them. Obviously,
tier, I would say we have Chrollo, we have Hisoka, we have Illumi, we have Bisky.
Well, I mean, I'd put the chairman above all of those guys.
I mean, yeah,
easily.
chairman's above all of them, but Kite might even be above those other guys too. But I think they're all pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, it's just a matter of degrees.
They're all, I could fuck up a Nen Ant.
Unless it's
P2.
Yeah, then they get fucked up.
Yeah, it sounded like they didn't even know that the ants had taken on human form and had Nen yet. But maybe they do.
At this point, I don't think they were just told that, P2 has Nen, but they have no idea to what degree it is.
That's right. Kilo was explaining to them about P2, about, like, I had never sensed Nen like that before. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, I can't possibly be that bad. I mean, you just learned how to use it. Like, they have no idea what's waiting for them there. But I do think, the chairman is smarter than
can deal with it.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure the chairman is smarter than his two buddies, and he's like, if this assassin child says this is fucked up, then I might need to do some recon first.
I might break a sweat.
Yeah,
I'd say the only thing about this episode that I didn't like, it's not even really about this episode, it's just this idea that, like, things got so real that now Gon and Killua have to leave that part of the show and go train, basically.
Yeah. I mean, they're perfectly fine up until the ants start learning to use Nen. Once the ants start learning to use Nen, it's like, okay, maybe they could hang. Then P2 shows up, and it's like, nope, these guys need a training arc.
Yeah.
I don't think a training arc is sufficient to get them even close with P2.
Oh, no way.
That's like, come back at the end of the show.
Yeah, but at the same time, the king hasn't been born yet, and they have to, there has to be a gap between now and obviously then. So
Also, yeah, P2, not even the king.
yeah, so I mean, if this is what the Royal Guard is like, what the hell is the king gonna be?
Some shit.
Speaking of some shit, you guys want to talk about Naruto?
Oh, God.
No, in fact, I don't want to talk about Naruto. There's nothing to talk about.
That's
No,
a
I don't
hell of a.
Oh,
that-
give me a second to remember what was even in this week's Naruto episode.
didn't
Alternate
watch it.
history. During the attack on the Leaf Village back at the Chunin exams, Hinata is kidnapped by some people from the land, the village hidden in the rice paddies.
The village of the
God.
big nose bad guys.
Good God, they are on a roll with these village names.
Like they just ran out of ideas at some
I mean,
point.
you thought
They're
the village hidden in the sound was already kind of dumb enough, and their headbands had a musical note on them, and you were like,
Yep.
that's dumb. But no, here's the village of Locke, hidden in land of Key.
Oh, God, that was so bad. Oh my God, I think this week wasn't the land that hid in the clouds or something, like a real village.
No, he said rice patties, right? Or
So they
something.
were going through the rice paddies, but their village was like a real non-filler village, even if these were filler characters.
No, they were from the village hidden in the rice paddies. They were probably in the land of thunder, though, which is where the village hidden in the clouds is. I don't.
Okay.
Which is, and the village hidden in the clouds is the actual like real shit that has a Kage and everything.
Is every place in the Naruto world a village hidden in the something?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the ninja villages are. They're
Okay.
obviously non-ninja villages.
Except that one village from the Zabuza arc. That place sucks.
Wait,
Yeah.
whoa. Hold on. You just blew my mind. You're telling me there are places in the Naruto world that are not ninja places?
Yeah,
Apparently.
I'm sorry if they came out condescending. I didn't mean it that way, but yeah.
Oh, no, I'm kind of making a joke / surprised about the idea. Like, are there literally? I've never not seen anyone who wasn't like living with or is a ninja.
Yeah, they're really not good about that.
Yeah, they could definitely do more could have done more world building.
Yeah, I just get the impression that the Naruto world is just all ninja all the time.
Everything is Ninja X. Ninja is literally a verb.
Like
Yep.
like Smurf.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
No, everything
All
is
right,
eyeballs.
now let's
It's
get
all
to
eyeballs.
let's get to the real shit. This is the shit you guys come here every day for, motherfuckers. It's nudity time. Outlaw Star episode 23, Hot Springs Planet Tenrei. Oh yeah, man, it's finally time. Man, you're an adult now. You can handle all this full frontal nudity of one shot.
They edited out the nipples, which is like the that's the key part. You took out the heart of the scene.
The amazing, legendary band from the United States forever, Too Saucy for TV. One shot.
Well, there's lots of risque stuff. Like, remember when all those girls were like pushing their boobs up in Jim's face?
It was nothing that couldn't have been like cut. They could have aired this episode with some cut with like cuts.
they
A couple of edits. Yeah.
This
They
was
could've.
not. This was not an uneditable episode.
For the
It
record,
had
it was.
everyone in regular swim clothes and swim trunks, and it would have
Yeah.
been all. I don't know how they would have done the video though.
There's a lot of like innuendo. For the record, this was rated
might have been it.
TVMA.
This was not
Out and
MA.
it did not have an S.
No S, no. But TVMA nonetheless. So
Yep.
This is a weird. I mean, yeah, this is kind of a weird and wacky episode with like the assassin who's like a clown or end up being like treated like a clown. I don't know. It seemed like a weird place to try to mix fan service and things that are relevant to the plot. I'm not really sure what the writers were going for or why they decided to go this way. Not that it was a bad episode; it was a fine episode. It's just like what a weird series of choices that led to this being created. I feel.
Number one, anime must always have a beach / hot springs episode. Always.
At least from the 90s to
Most,
like
the vast
2010.
majority of them have to have a hot springs or beach episode so that you can get plot and character development must be present.
Yes.
I mean,
Number
granted,
two.
this was I think this was probably one of the better Hot Springs episodes I've seen, so it's got that going for it.
Honestly, yeah. It was actually funny.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. It was a riot. I mean, it was
I'm
really
just remarking how
entertaining.
weird it is that it's a thing that exists.
Yeah, you're right. It is. I felt it also. It felt a little oddball, almost like this was like an OAV episode that was like inserted or something. But because like it had the vibe of like one of those like, hey, let's go chicken on the characters now that the series is over kind of feel to it. But it was really funny and fun and like goofy and oh man, there's so much to talk about. Like, I mean, let's just get out of the way real quick here. Like the idea that okay, the one important aspect of the episode, the only important, is that they explained that like kind of where that castor shells came from and how
Yeah.
they're made.
And then
Oh,
you
yeah.
realize they haven't actually used castor shells since like episode 4.
Yeah,
Well,
No,
'cause
they use
got
them.
none.
I think like when they're fighting Harry.
I mean, it's kind of. I know
Yeah,
he used them against what fucking the non-raper McDougal.
Jesus Christ.
And then, but then it's like they're so rarely used that just like Suzuka, you could forget they're in the show.
Yeah, that's sort of a problem with them stretching out the 25 episodes, sort of in addition to having a bunch of episodes that aren't great. We sort of forget that, oh yeah, Gene's got these really awesome bullets, but he's
There
got
are
so
a
few
lot
of
of
them.
things in this show where it's like, man, that seems like it should have been in the show more. Like
Yeah,
grappler
like-
combat and
Yeah.
caster shells and an entire character from the Outlaw Star.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like they really shouldn't have stretched out. They should have just gone like 12, 15 episodes and been done with it.
It feels like I definitely recall that there were plans for a second season that kind of
Oh,
fell
yeah.
through. So maybe that probably influenced a lot of how they ended up writing this season. Like, okay, we're gonna do this, but we're definitely gonna have another season, guys. And then you got to the end and we're like, actually,
No.
you know, or whatever the ratings or the sales weren't good enough, so they got canceled or something. I don't know.
Well, like they were, if I remember right, they were ahead of their time. They were like planning the whole like Marvel Cinematic Universe type shit.
Huh. So planning cinematic universes that collapse and explode immediately is not a new thing.
Nope.
I mean, I guess they were able to get Angelings off the ground.
Yeah. And I mean, apparently there was a prequel series. I don't remember what it was called though. But I mean, then there's something like Clamp, and they've pretty much been doing the Marvel thing longer than Marvel has.
So, what did you guys enjoy the little Aisha side plot about the fact that she can't find any hot springs hot enough, and then she goes and like finds like a lava pit?
I like to call it tomato soup. I'm gonna go with tomato soup, boiling hot tomato soup.
And I
Yeah.
like that she like started. She's like Jean shows up, and then she's like flirting with Jean. How did you come to look at the guitar?
I mean, that was actually, I kind of like that because it's both in character and also some of some version of how that thing usually goes. The in character part is the really important bit, but it's just like, I don't know. For some reason, I appreciated that.
Oh my god, I didn't actually read this Onion article. They did this article about like, guys played 125 hours of RPG. Can't believe he has to spend this time watching cutscene. I didn't usually with the Onion, this is a tangent, but I'd only read the headline because that's all you need. The article has actually got very specific information about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like straight up, here's a quote. Jesus, life is short. I can't just sit around and listen to them bullshit about the Aegis War. It's already 3:30 and it's going to take me at least 2 hours to collect firewood for the Tranquility Quest.
You can't skip cutscenes in Xenoblade 2?
No, you can.
Oh, okay.
Come on already. Enough crap about the Argentum Trade Guild or the World Tree or whatever, and let me get back to spending my time on something that matters. Said Pierce, who has reportedly spent his entire day upgrading skills on his Xenoblade's affinity. They knew some stuff, but didn't know some stuff. Painstakingly selling items to in advantageous shops and running repetitive fetch missions to refine his aux cores. Yep, that's the game. Anyway, back to Outlaw Star. I did not realize that was so real.
Well, actually, I guess you can maybe justify the tangent by saying Outlaw Star feels very much like a kind of JRPG setup with a JRPG cast, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah. In fact, actually, yeah, this is a yeast cast.
I've never actually seen one of those.
It's a bunch of anime characters, man. It's a JRPG. Anyway, I did like
Yeah.
the video where it shows immediately a counter shows up, and I'm like, it's gonna explode.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that scene is that if you remember when Jean got up to the top of the mountain and the girl is there, and then like they do like this kind of joke about the fact that instead of like fighting or whatever, they just end up playing ping pong, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna film you doing some lewd stuff, and then for some reason I forget how he convinced her to do that, and then she goes, okay, well, as long as I can film you. And I was thinking, well, that's unusual. I guess she wants footage of him. And I 100% believe that when Gene got back, the footage that he'd pop in there would be of him.
How would that work? Oh, she just a secret camera, but he never got naked. How would that work?
I think what was supposed to happen, we didn't see it, but like I thought they were supposed to swap cameras. Like the idea was going to be that like the deal was she would let him have raunchy footage of her if Gene gave her raunchy footage of him. Like that was a deal that they made.
You were saying that's what you thought at that very moment, but then once you realize what
No. They said that in the show. They were like, she said, okay, I will give you a video of me if you let me get a video of you, Gene. She said that to him.
No, my understanding was the scene was that they were betting on whoever would win the ping pong match would get naked footage of the other, but she was proposing that since she was putting herself on the line, that he put himself on the line so that if he loses, then she gets to.
Oh, I thought it was like that was after the match. All right, never mind. Okay, I thought that they recorded each other as an exchange.
No, that back and forth was before the match, at the start of the match. At least that's my recollection.
All right. So I kept expecting Jean to show up on the screen, and when it was her, I'm like, oh, well, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, then like you said, the counter's going down, and then of course they can't stop watching. And there's another scene, Too Hot for TV, I guess, right?
I mean, nothing was edited about that scene, I suppose. But
no, but I mean, like that's why that wasn't shown before because it didn't fit the.
I mean, Aisha was
network.
Hello, here's full frontal nudity.
I assume it was the nips that really threw them.
It's always the nips.
I think it was I think it was a lot of just the overt sexual nature of the episode because like this was back when Toonami was airing like in the afternoons, right?
Yeah,
right.
This was after school stuff.
Yeah, it would never have aired on Cartoon Network in the afternoon. None of it. It's just too raunchy.
I mean, again, they showed. I'm trying to think of something they showed that they really shouldn't have been able to show, and I can't think of anything.
But I mean, my point is it wasn't just the nudity; it was the perversion in the show. I think also probably kept it off the air, and now they can air it because it's on at like 2:00 in the morning on Adult Swim.
Yeah, fuck it. We still have to give her Barbie doll anatomy though.
They do, yeah.
Like we can show
that's probably like
chewing on baby skulls, but we cannot show a nip.
Yeah, and that's probably less to do with Adult Swim and more to do with like primetime cable, or not primetime, but cable television standards or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else about Toonami this week?
No, we're not. I guess Danny is kind of. I guess everything else is a rerun. So just gonna skip all that, or
the Dandy episode's really good.
Yep.
One of my favorite episodes for sure.
Cowboy Bebop was also good.
It was one. I think it was one of the weaker episodes of the show. I guess
it's
for Cowboy Bebop,
good.
it's Cowboy Bebop's just automatically like on another level. But it was definitely one of the weaker episodes of the series. But
Ghost in the Shell was another Tachikoma's talk, which I always down for.
I mean, those are just fun.
Anyway, I guess that'll do it for this episode of the Toonami Escape podcast. Thank you, Crocodile.
Just one question though before we head out. When are we expecting the announcements for some of the replacements? Because we got some shows ending pretty soon.
So the third to last episode of Outlaw Star is airing this coming week. So we should get an announcement
This week or next week, I
Friday.
assume.
So not this coming Friday, which would be I think March 2nd, but March 9th.
Right. Next Friday, because they have never announced a show less than 14 days out from airing.
Okay.
I guess because that's the point where they absolutely have to show a correct schedule, and they can't hide it anymore.
Right.
I'm not getting my hopes up. I think it's going to be some kind of rerun.
No,
I want to be wrong, though. I want to be wrong, but that's just my gut right now.
I mean, I don't know. It seems pretty obvious that whatever you were going to replace Lupin with would fit pretty well in there.
Yeah.
So Lupin's Part 5 is supposed to be coming out in Japan later this year, right?
Part 5 starts in April.
Okay. Not that there's anything to confirm for tonight, but I'm just thinking of possibilities because
it would not shock me.
We'll get it
saying
at
they had something in the works, but they didn't come out. It fell through, or like it's still going to happen.
It couldn't. I mean, it's not. It's definitely not. We're showing Lupin the Third Part 5 before Japan.
I mean, that'd be
right.
crazy,
I'm just
though.
thinking of things that could be happening or whatnot.
I think we came down inevitably to it being like a music label started to be an asshole with the rights to the opening song.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we'll see.
So we'll see. Anyway, thank you, C. Kohler.
No problem.
Thank you, B-Dubs.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week for episode 94. Good night.
Good night, everyone.